Alright, ready, and you may begin.
When I was in the 7th grade, I had a teacher named Mrs. Jaworski. Everyone called her Jaws for short. Part of our curriculum that year was to read The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn and discuss the isms of the era. Well, it's a commonly known fact that in Huckleberry Finn, their N-word is used at least twice a page, if not more. Well, Miss Jaworski, she refused to say it. She didn't say it when she was reading aloud to us. She didn't say it when she was teaching us. And she didn't even say it when she was teaching us not to say it. That word was never heard in her classroom or in the hallways or anywhere near her. Meanwhile, she had no trouble throwing around other swear words in class, but that's a story for a different day. But was that the right thing for her to do? Did she lessen her impact on us by not using that word? Would she have changed the way that she taught if she had not censored the N-word out when she was teaching us? That is my question to you. The problem is that censorship in schools is slowly progressing to a point where it is harmful to students and to their learning. As Jesse Paul puts in the Denver Post, posted September 22nd, less than a month ago, schools in Jefferson County, Colorado are already trying to censor out history curriculums. As Lindsay Beaver puts in the Washington Post, posted on October 3rd, they're trying to cut out mentions of civil disobedience in curriculums to avoid encouraging rebellion in classes. Lily Rathman in Time magazine posted on September 22nd a list of books that are slowly being banned from libraries all around the country in public schools. One of those books is Huckleberry Finn, and in about.education.com posted November of 2013, one of those books is Huckleberry Finn, and the reason for that is because of its extensive use of racism, supposed anti-Southernism, and even a little bit of atheism. The effects of censorship like this are harmful to students. As CNN puts it, the students in Jefferson County, as a way to protest the history curriculum, they got up during class and they protested by going to the superintendent's office and complaining about the censorship of civil disobedience. The next week, teachers in that school took a 2-week sick week, forcing schools to shut down because there were no teachers there to teach the students. More importantly, it's adding to the already censored environment that school boards are creating for children. We have censored topics here, in Sartell, in this classroom, that we shouldn't speak about. We're always being taught that when we communicate, we need to be careful what we say so that we don't offend anybody. Well, how are we supposed to know what's offensive to somebody? I could go up to someone and say, I am so excited for Halloween, and somebody could find that offensive because they got their candy taken from them by a bully when they were in the 3rd grade. We don't go around asking people for their life story, so we don't know what's offensive in the first place. In addition, how are we supposed to deal with those sensitive topics in the future if we don't learn how to deal with them now? Because in the real world, they do not stifle what they talk to us about. They give us everything straight and plain and clear, whether we like it or not. And if we're learning to hide those sensitive topics now, then how are we supposed to cope with them when they come out when we're an adult? The way to fix this is to create a new law regarding censorship in schools. This law will make it illegal for any school to downgrade or completely erase any aspect in a curriculum. It will replace any curriculums that have already been changed, such as the Jefferson County schools. While some people may say that censorship keeps kids innocent, that is absolutely untrue because we have access to things like the internet and to books in public libraries outside of schools. If we want to know something, then we will find it out, whether schools or parents want it or not. In addition, there is a great difference between treating your child with honesty and treating your child like they are a 40-year-old who knows everything. Censorship in schools is absolutely pointless. Things like civil disobedience and slavery, no matter how shameful they are, need to be taught so that we know not to do it in the future. Ideas came from somewhere. Civil disobedience and slavery were not taught in schools when this concept first came up. They came from the minds of normal people just like you and me, and they will come up again unless we learn in school what happened the last time it came up. Censorship is only a temporary solution to something that isn't even a problem. If we don't follow my plan for a new law, things will progressively get worse. The censorship will progress to a point where schools find anything slightly offensive, they will take it out. We may stop teaching world religions and world history because it may be offensive to people who don't believe in them. We may stop teaching evolution because it may be offensive to people who don't believe in evolution. How are we supposed to know if we don't believe in something or not, if we don't even know anything about it in the first place? The books that are being banned, they may slowly deteriorate our culture because books are where we get new vocabulary and where we learn new ideas and new cultures and new people. So we don't experience that in our specific bubble here in Sartell. Books are where we express ourselves and where we learn, and we can't do that if they are being banned because there may be a drinking scene or because one character may smoke a cigarette in one scene. History will become twisted in its telling because we'll be emphasizing the good in the history and none of the bad and the shameful, even though that's something that we need to learn about more than anything else. I need your help to make this happen and to stop censorship in schools. Contact your local school board if your curriculum starts to deteriorate. And you can find those means of contact easiest through the internet by typing in your school name. You tell them that you don't want to be stifled and you don't want to be censored. You want the entire truth, no matter how shameful or how bad it may be. We all have a right to freedom of speech, and we can't use it if we are being taught to hide it and censor it now. In the wise words of Jack Nicholson, you can handle the truth.